Welcome guys to Crushing the Meta. Last time we had Dave on doing a small box opening for stuff that he wanted for his gear support, but we didn't really take too close of a look to the Genesis support that we'll be getting in this set or in this structure deck. We want to go through with you guys with the archetype, and we're joined today with Varian. Hey,
yes.
Varian.
Hello everyone. I'm also a new member to Crushing the Meta, so it's nice to be here.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Genesis trial deck. For those who love Genesis, I would say this is a nice trial deck because it has a lot of things that can work not only with the clan but also just going into Vanguard, playing a Genesis clan. And this one is interesting because usually when you have a trial deck in standard, you get the 8 critical and 4 normal draw triggers.
Yeah.
But now in this one, the Bushiroad pull a fast one on us and give us draw PG.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not foil. You can get it foil if you're expecting that.
Yeah. There's a bit of luck in it, a bit of luck involved.
No, you really can't get it at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what usually happens, you have the new cards, one each foil, and then you get a random card from the triggers or the great ones, etc.
Yeah.
But well, that should include a draw PG. You would think so, but actually you cannot get a foil draw PG from this.
Oh,
so if you're
that's
expecting to
unfortunate.
bling your stuff, well, get the old booster with Gear Chronicles and Great Nature. I think it was the Triple G clan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice. If you just have all 4, then you have all 4 draw PGs to play Genesis, basically, and you have all 4 of your new cards in foil actually. So
That's so nice.
yeah,
So nice.
and they're actually good cards that you would use if you want to make the Valkyrian build, the grade 5, the DT we like to call. But disclaimer, I don't really play Genesis as my main clan, but I do playtest in standard a lot. With all the new clans incoming, I always playtest them just to see what they can do. And it's nice when you have friends, like a team, to discuss your choices. Hey, you can try this out and all that stuff. So I have played the deck before.
Okay. Well, now let's not keep us in suspense. I mean, we've already done more or less some of the previews and stuff of it already. This is going to be a more or less a run through of every card in detail, and then have Varian explain to us. So open it up and let's get this underway.
Yeah, and one thing, because you see the main grade 3 Uranus. No Uranus jokes in the comments. But if you're lucky, you can get an alternate art version with a gold border over there, and then also a different artwork. So we'll see if we're that lucky today.
Oh, that's so sick! I can't wait.
Let's open this. Well, you get the manual. Please read. The best skill you need in Vanguard, and also the playmat.
Because reading is indeed hard. I can quote.
Indeed, it is very difficult, and very, even though it's very fundamental to the game. So let's open it. So this is Uranus. Okay, I should stop laughing. Now,
Okay.
cards. So, of course, at the beginning you have the Uranus.
Yeah.
This is a new mechanic to Genesis with the astral plane. So how it works, if you have 5 force markers on your Vanguard, remember on your Vanguard, you can open the astral plane, which is on the back row of your Vanguard, which you can place the boss monster over here, Valkyrian. A 70k power unit, very strong, can only be placed there. It can do drive checks, but the drive checks doesn't go to your hand, but it goes to the soul. So it's sort of a soul charge-ish thing, which Genesis, I think, like to do, at least in standard. And so you definitely need them if you want to continue your support with the booster sets with Astraios.
Okay,
So these are the for sure foil you would get. You see? Grade 5.
All right. What other goodies do we have?
We have Prometheus. This is a very interesting grade 2 because it works on VNR. So on place, you can check the 2 top cards of your deck, and then you can place 1 into your soul and 1 in the top deck. So in a sense, you're playing like an OTT deck because you stack your top deck.
Yeah.
And in that sense, you can say if you're playing a Himiko build, you can put a trigger if you see it on your top deck, or you just soul charge, but also just you know what your drive check next turn, and it works on VNR, so on your ride it's not bad. And when you're setting up for your grade 3 plays, you also know what your twin drive.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And also it has also another effect in rear guard when it attacks. You can give 5k to your Vanguard and this unit, so it always hits wherever it is, against force or against protect against a grade 3, because it's 15k always. So this is also a very nice card for Genesis. And here this is the common Uranus. We will see if we get the
alternate art.
The alternate art. We will have the suspense. So stay tuned. This is also a new grade 3 they have in this trial deck. It's called Perseus. Now this is also interesting. It also works on VNR. When it attacks, you can counterblast 1 to draw 2 cards and put 1 on your soul. So again with Himiko, you just put your triggers in mid-battle, and also you draw 2 and you put 1 to soul. You +1 for free. And if you combine it with Prometheus, for example, you can decide. When you call Prometheus, you know what you will draw.
Yeah.
So in that sense, you know exactly what you want to get. If you played both of them together, so there's the synergy between them. Let's see what else. You just get the 10k vanilla.
I mean,
nothing.
Still base stats is pretty okay. 10k in 10.
10k in 10. 10k shields. It's pretty alright in this Excel meta we are, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for some people. The rest of the Prometheus.
Yep.
So you get 4 of them, which is nice because, as I said, you can put it in a Himiko build or a Valkyrian build. You always have access to them from this trial deck. Now you have another new card. It's called, let's see, I don't remember what's the name. Parthenos of Holyverse. So when it attacks, while it boosted, you can counterblast 1, and if your Vanguard is an Astral Poet race, you can give a force marker. So this is one of the gimmicks of the new Genesis, where you generate force markers on your Vanguard. So an Astral Poet is the race of your main grade 3, which is Uranus. So when you have Uranus as your Vanguard, as long as it attacks when it boosts, you get an imaginary gift.
I realize there's a few of these cards that actually need a bit of boosting, don't they, right? Like a few of the grade 3s and stuff. Like some of the other grade 3s that you might not want to play, but consider it. And some of the other grade 2s you would probably need to boost as well. So that's kind of...
Yeah, in the booster set there is one card that asks you when it's boosted, you can get a force marker. And there's also other cards where it says when it hits, when boosting you get a force marker. So there's multiple ways you can make force markers, either battle phase, either on ride, like for example Uranus, I didn't explain before, but on place V and R, Soul Blast 2, you get a force marker on your Vanguard.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
So you can just ride your Uranus, force marker, Soul Blast 2, another force marker. If you have another one from your hand, you can call it to rear guard, Soul Blast 2, force marker.
Oh, that's pretty
So
nifty.
you just make force markers like a factory, basically. And actually, there are even cards in the booster set that makes you force markers from the Guardian Circle. But it's not in this trial deck, so I won't be covering that now, but you get the idea of what this deck is trying to achieve by making force markers, so this guy can come in whenever it can.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah. And this is one of the new cards. It's a 9k base though, so be careful with that.
Excel decks love those.
Excel deck definitely love those. So these are also new. And these are called Diana of Moonlight. So this is when I explained it's a grade 1.
I like her a lot.
Yeah, it has pretty nice art actually, I agree. So when it attacks, when it boosts Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. Same if your Vanguard, then you can place a gift marker. And if your Vanguard is under an Astral Poet, you can Soul Charge 1. Counter Charge 1. So in a sense, it gives you hit pressure. So the opponent will have to think again if they want to give you a force marker for a Soul Blast.
Yeah.
You just think about that. Oh yeah, Soul Blast 1 force marker. Okay.
Thanks, friend.
Thank you. As long as it's Astral Poet, well, Uranus is Astral Poet. The new VR is also an Astral Poet, so you can play them together. This is a decent card in the trial deck, I would say.
Are you sure about that? You know, you have to ever do.
more new cards. Atlas of Heaven. I call him Atlas. So he has a Vanguard skill actually. So this is your main right target from the trial deck.
Yep. That's really good because usually these cards are like triple rares in the main set sometimes.
Exactly. The main set also has a rideable grade 1, which is also pretty good. But for trial deck, you just have him on place on V, Soul Charge 1. So you have the extra soul for your Uranus, for example, if you want to use soul. And also for Diana, which we talked about, costs a soul blast. So it just sets up your play. Also, on rear guard, you can counterblast 1 and put it soul. If you have an Astral Poet, you get a force and draw. So you just make another unit that makes force markers, but also you sort of get a refund because you draw a card from the counterblast. So it's a pretty decent card, also pretty good when you think about the whole booster set. Just making force markers, as I said. Here are the grade 1 PGs. These are really good compared to the last ones because in the previous ones... Oh wait, actually. No, this is just the normal PG, never mind. So there's...
If it was a drop-and-drop PG, that would
Yeah, because the new ones, as you know, has a on-ride, draw, and then drop. But this one doesn't have them. This is just the old Sentinel.
Yep.
So it's the same as the one that they have in the old booster set. It's a Sentinel, so you have four of them. We will see if they are foiled or not later on. You have Snake. So if you're a Snake, so you can act. This is an interesting one because you have act once per turn. Soul Blast 5.
It's pretty steep a cost.
It's a pretty steep cost. You get a force marker. I generally don't use it if you have the whole booster set available to you. But it's just an alternative to get a force because the only thing you Soul Blast for is this. Mainly Soul Blast 2. And sometimes you have Soul Blast 1. Which is okay compared to 5, I mean. And also with Uranus, how it works when you call him to the astral plane, you check the top 5 cards of your deck. You take 1 card and put it on the drop zone, and then it gets drive check for the grade you discarded with. So if you discard a grade 3, then it gets triple drive. And then the units you triple drive goes to the soul. So you build up the soul together, so you can also use those for the snake.
Let's do the...
But again, it's a very steep cost. It's a 6k grade 1. It's an option for the trial deck, that's for sure.
I would do the no-go.
The critical triggers, same critical triggers. Fun fact, they probably have a different flavor text compared to the old one.
No, thank you.
Also the critical triggers. Nothing really special over there.
Vanilla beats.
Just the nice triggers you want. No, thank you. The draw triggers. So you have just a normal draw trigger, no problem. And of course, the draw PG. You already know what draw PG does. Really nice that they put it in the trial deck. Hopefully they will do this more in the incoming sets because it's always nice just to get a free draw PG.
Because some of the times, on the second-hand market, a lot of the PGs and stuff, stuff from when Lane Jokers was a thing,
Yeah.
or when a whole lot of other clans were very popular, sometimes the PGs have been pretty expensive then.
Exactly.
So it's really nice that they have alternatives like the drop-and-draw PG,
Yeah.
which is good in its own right if you don't really have good grade 1s or if you want to actually play more crits and stuff, which gives you good alternatives. So I like it.
Yeah, because so far the reprints for draw PGs are like foiled. As far as I know, the Link Joker is SP, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And
Judge Pro Mode SP, and you have the Mach Eclair from Shadows, which is also Judge Pro Mode SP.
Exactly. So a lot of people are moving on to different sets, so they don't pull PGs anymore. But well, this is a very nice thing they do. We'll see if Bushiroad keeps doing that. The hero triggers, just like any normal hero trigger.
Yep.
Nothing exceptionally special about them. Nice V hero triggers. Alright, now we will see
whether or not we were lucky.
So, you get the 4 Valkyrians. As I said, one will always be foil. So you have the 4 Valkyrians, so you can for sure have them, you can immediately play them with the trial deck. So it's nice for
If this does
consistency.
not hit, then I will get to.
Can't wait to see what it'll probably do with new deity types.
Beast deity types.
No, not beast deity, man. Just the deity types. The
grade 5,
fives,
if they
yeah.
would have added more.
Different types. One that probably like do damage,
It
or
could be.
one that allows you to draw some cards or something if you're low on hand. You know.
Because we already know from the reveals that the next Genesis support will also be based on Uranus. So we will have, I'm sure, Valkyrian support, or at least Astral Plane support.
Support. Yep.
So we will see if they make
You don't get
a steroid version of Valkyrian. We will see. You'll also get the Astral Plane.
Which is kind of cool.
So this is how it looks like. You will place it on the rear guard circle behind your Vanguard. If you have 5 force markers on your Vanguard, maybe I'll just show them as well. Because you also get 5 force markers.
Oh, the new version.
The new version, Force 1 of course, because you don't want to stack Force 2 in your Vanguard. So if you have 5 of them, just stacked over here,
this one gets.
you would get the Astral Plane. And when you place the unit on the Astral Plane, over here, the Astral Plane skill triggers where I said check top 5, put a grade, a card from your drop zone, and then it gets the drive check based on the grade. But also the Astral Plane is only available if you write the correct grade 3, because it's actually a continuous skill by Uranus. And also the VR from the Genesis, the Astraios Dragon also has that. So if you say, oh, I have 5 force markers, but I'm playing a Himiko deck, you won't get the Astral Plane.
No,
So
it
you
doesn't. It doesn't open for you.
No, it doesn't open for you. And also keep in mind, for example, if you get deleted, you lose your Astral Plane. If
Yep.
you can still see Link Joker for whatever reason, because Astral Plane is a skill.
Yeah.
In a sense. So in premium also, if you strike, you lose your Astral Plane.
Correct, because your Vanguard does not carry over continuous skills.
Exactly. So it's pretty nice looking force. The only place you can get them, I think. I don't think you can get them in the booster set. Let's see what others we have. The Ford Perseus,
Oh, nice.
the grade 2,
Mm-hmm.
10 kpg. The Parthenos also nothing. Still lucky. The grade 1,
No.
very lucky as well. Atlas,
Also not foil.
also not foil. The 1 PG,
Mhm.
also not foil. The Snake, also not foil. The starter, Pan, it's the starter for Genesis, the one Shin uses. Press F to the clans that don't have a new starter. Sad for Raging Tactics. But, well, you have this option, same write and draw skill. You have the critical, not foil, so we're actually going to have a foil card, critical I think, a trigger I think.
Oh, that's cool. That'd be like the heal trigger probably, right?
Probably. The other crits, fine. The draw trigger, fine.
En als een aanval niet hit met een marker.
Foil heal,
Oh,
very nice.
we can take a look. Let's get a look at that.
Yeah,
That
let's
looks
take a look
so
at that.
good.
This is nice.
Could you hold it up to
Trial deck
the light a
foil
little bit?
right here.
Yeah. Take a look at that shining.
In premium, you would use it, I think.
I think you
I
should-
don't play Genesis premium, but
I don't mind the shiny heel. Thank you.
definitely don't mind
It's
shiny heal.
really pretty.
Really pretty. You don't. You can also sell it very expensive as well because foil triggers are usually expensive from trial decks for whatever reason. But yeah, if you're looking for those. And our Uranus is in fact just a normal Uranus. We did not get the gold border markers. I actually don't know if you can get a gold border and a foil.
Uh-huh.
Maybe someone was that lucky, but
You can.
you can?
It was also the same with the shadow trial.
Okay, so we could have really high rolled there, but we didn't.
No.
But yeah, so that was the trial deck. You have the 4 boss monsters. I would definitely say they are boss monsters.
So what's your takeaway from this trial deck actually? Like from your testing with Genesis and stuff in standard, what do you think about the deck so far? Like, do you think there's any like bad matchups and stuff?
That's a good question. I playtested a bit with the old the class we have now in English, but also the ones in Japanese. So like you can think of Agravane, and also what was it? Neonectar with Arboros. And well, it's playing Force is not so bad in this XL meta at the moment because you have a higher base. So it's not really you're better off than playing a Protect clan. That's what I'm trying to say at the moment.
So like even against a deck like God Hand or something, you'd still be able to hold your own a little bit, or?
Well, God Hand is a bit different because if you just take fronts, you win. That's how God Hand works because really the power from fronts is very high. Yeah. But they have the higher base really helps them, and also playing with the higher numbers with XL that cannot generate Protect markers is really nice. Because this will always hit for at least 5 force markers, 63, always. And this will also hit you for 70, so you will need 2 PGs almost all the time. Unless you want to hit, of course, one will hit, for example. And then you have the other rear guard to think about, because it's a force clan that can make multiple attacks, so it's always nice, and also multiple twin drives. Well,
that's pretty good.
Actually, if you use him, you call him, and then you mill him, then you have Pentadrive to soul charge with. Of course, it doesn't go to your hand, sadly. No. But those are things that are just extremely scary, and you can stack your deck with Prometheus, so you know exactly what you're going to twin drive or Pentadrive, at least the first two. So you can always just stack your deck, and from these sets, there are a lot of cards that will be used for Astraios, in my opinion. Like the Uranus is a nice backup grade 3 for Astraios, because both of them has the astral plane. Because you don't want to ride the grade 3 without the astral plane. Then you can't do anything with this. This is a dead card. And Prometheus is just so easy to put into because it's always a good card to have in that sense. So it's always a good card to have. And the like if you against force clans, as I said, they cannot generate Protect markers because you're always going to hit a lot all the time. I would not say it's going to be tier 1, no questions, but it's definitely going to do something. And also it's a new clan, it's a main character clan as of this moment. It will get support.
Shinemon is actually doing the archetype bit of justice, which is kind of interesting to see.
Exactly. So sure, it's a bit gimmicky, but really, I would say give it a shot. Because it's not going to do nothing for you, but it will be a bit in a situation where, I have only 3 force markers, then I can't play this. I have 5 force markers, then I can't play the Valkyrian because I don't have it in hand. Those are the issues that I find. But you have cards in the booster pack that helps you with draw power, like the Astraios Dragon. Unlike him, which is on play Soul Blast to force marker, Astraios is act once per turn counter blast force marker. And if you have a Astral Plane, you can Soul Blast 1 to draw. So you also have the Astral Plane and all that stuff. So it's really, I think the trial deck builds like about 50% of the Astraios deck, I would say, depending on how you want to build it, of course. So it's very useful if you want to go into Genesis.
Well, guys, this was Varian and JJ. 2 guys from Crushing the Meta. Hope you guys tune in. Hope you guys stop by. Varian is one of the resident. He doesn't main Genesis, but is one of his other favorite archetype, other favorite clans that he likes to play a lot. Thank you for tuning in. Stop to stop by. Be awesome, stay awesome, guys, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye.